Hello everyone. I thought I'd give you another tale from the dining room, and today's tale is Midget the Mackerel. Now, a mackerel is a type of fish that you find in Cornwall, which is where I love to go on holiday, and I wrote this story a long time ago when my boys were very small, as a bedtime story when we were on holiday. And I'm feeling a bit sad today because I was supposed to be going to the seaside on holiday on Saturday, but I can't go now because I'm having my adventure at home. So I thought I'd share this story with you. So, Midget, the tiny mackerel, lived in the sea with his mummy and daddy, not far from the beach at a place called Mackerel, which is in Cornwall, and it's very pretty. Midget and his mummy and daddy lived with a large group of other mackerel, which we humans call a school. And this is how he spent his days, swimming around with his parents in the warm water, darting backwards and forwards, playing fishy games, and occasionally being a bit naughty. The sea was a beautiful place, and in the summer the water would glisten and sparkle like bright emeralds in the sunlight. One day, Midget saw in the distance some beautiful silver lights. First they flashed one way, then they flashed the other, and then they would vanish and appear as if by magic, some feet away. Midget was entranced as he watched, and he saw them dance, and he felt sure that maybe they were the legendary pilchard which his mummy and daddy had told him about in stories. "Look, Mum," he said, "pilchards." But his mum simply said, "The pilchards are gone from these parts." "Can I go and have a look?" he asked his mum, but she simply and calmly said, "The pilchards have all gone. It's far too far for a little fish like you to go. You will get lost." Midget was not happy. The beautiful silver flashes sparkled like 1,000 tiny mirrors, and he was determined to go and have a closer look. He swam over to his father. Dad, can I go and see the silver lights?" he asked. And his dad just waved his tail and said, "No, the sea is a dangerous place for such a little fish. The deep water and the boats go out there. No, Midget, stay here with your friends where it's safe." But Midget wouldn't listen to his mummy or his daddy. After all, he didn't look very far away, and in fact he was pretty sure that he could go and look and swim back before they even realised that he was missing. So off the little fish swam towards the silver flashes, on an adventure to see if they really were pilchard. As he swam, the sea became a lot colder and a little darker. But soon he was there, hundreds of silver fish darting around this way and that, first one way, then another. But they weren't pilchards, they were herring, and their silver coats were shining. It was then Midget turned around to shout to tell his mum and dad what he'd found, that they weren't pilchards after all, when he realised how far he'd swum. He couldn't even see his mummy Mummy and Daddy at all. He couldn't even see the rocks around the school where he lived. With a large gulp, he realised he was lost. Just then, a large shape loomed overhead. The water became dark and shadowy, and before Midget had a chance to realise what was happening, a huge net plunged into the water and began to enclose all the wonderful silver fish and Midget. Midget was getting squashed all the time, and the fish began to be pulled up by the huge net. Well, do you know what happened next? Midget was so small that he managed to squeeze through one of the holes in the net, and he swam off, only to see the net pulling out of water and all the silver fish being dropped into the hole of the boat. Midget was now very frightened. Then another shape appeared and another net was dropped, and again Midget found himself being drawn in with all the other fish. Can you think what happened? Yes, because he was so small he slipped through the net again. Oh, Midget was so frightened, and he was also now getting rather hungry. He wasn't sure which way was home anymore, and he decided that this was indeed a very dangerous part of the sea. He started to swim, but he was so lost. Where were his parents? He called out, "Mummy! Daddy!" But there was no answer. He felt like he'd been swimming forever. Not only was he now lost and hungry, but he was also very tired. Just then a high-pitched voice said, "Aren't you Midget the Mackerel?" It was the little dab who lived by the harbour wall. "What are you doing here?" he said. "I'm lost," said Midget, and he told the dab all about the wonderful silver fish and how he got lost. The little dab told Midget to follow him and stay close, and he would guide him back to the inland waters where the school lived. The dab swam off, and Midget tried to follow, but he was so tired and cold that he couldn't keep up. And before he knew it, he'd lost sight of the dab altogether. Midget sat down on the floor and he sobbed. "If I hadn't been such a naughty fish and swum off without Mummy and Daddy." He was all alone, and he felt sure he might never see his mum and his dad again. Then he heard another voice. "Hello, what are you doing there all by yourself?" It was a little starfish. Midget retold the story and explained how he was now too tired to swim any further. And as he told the story, he started to cry. The little starfish put a spiny arm around Midget and tried to comfort him. "I'm too slow and small to swim to your home," he said, "but perhaps if I stand up and pretend to be a real star, I can light up the sea and your Mummy and Daddy might be able to find you." And with that, the tiny starfish stood up and began to shine. He shone out just like a real star, and the sea around Midget began to glow. The starfish waved this way and waved that way and twinkled and glistened for all the sea world to see. Just as Midget thought that all was lost, his parents appeared. "Oh, Midget," they cried, "we thought we'd lost you forever." The family thanked the lucky starfish for his help and carried Midget home. Midget would always remember the beautiful dancing silver fish, but he would never again go anywhere where his mummy and daddy couldn't see him. So they all lived happily ever after. Well, see you tomorrow for some more fun.